Guys, we need to talk. Seriously, this is important. The world is messed up, right? We see it every day. People are struggling. There's so much injustice. But here's the thing, it's not a coincidence. It's by design. There's a small group of super rich elites who benefit from this system. They want us divided. They want us fighting amongst ourselves. Because when we're busy doing that, we're not paying attention to them. We're not challenging their power. And that's exactly how they like it. Divided, we are weak, we're easy to control, but united. United, we are a force to be reckoned with. We have the power to change things. We have the power to create a fairer, more just world, but we can only do it together. So let's stop fighting amongst ourselves. Let's stop letting them play us against each other. It's time to wake up and realize our true power, the power of unity. We need to stop listening to the voices that tell us we're different. The voices that say we should fear each other, because those voices, they're the voices of the elite. They're the ones who benefit from our division. They're the ones who are afraid of our unity. And you know what? They should be afraid, because when we come together, when we stand as one, there's nothing we can't achieve. Let's be real, folks. The elite, the 1%, the big dogs, whatever you want to call them, they wrote the playbook on division. They know that a house divided against itself cannot stand. So what do? They exploit our differences. They turn us against each other based on religion, nationality, how much money we make, who we love, you name it. They dangle these shiny distractions in front of us like some kind of twisted reality show while they're busy picking our pockets. It's like the magician's trick, right? They get us focused on one hand, while the other hand is busy making off with our wallets, our rights, and our future. But don't fall for it. We're all in this together, folks. Whether we're religious or not, whether we were born here or somewhere else, whether we're struggling to make ends meet or doing okay, we all deserve a fair shot at a good life. And we're not going to get it by fighting amongst ourselves. We need to see through their tricks and realize that the real enemy is not our neighbor. It's the system that keeps us divided and them in power. They tell us that immigrants are stealing our jobs, that people of different faiths are a threat to our way of life, that the poor are lazy and undeserving. And you know what? We buy it. We buy it because it's easier than facing the truth. The truth is that the elite need us divided. They need us to blame each other for our problems, because as long as we're pointing fingers at each other, we're not pointing them at the people who are really responsible, the ones who rigged the system in the first place. Okay, picture this, a giant pyramid. At the very top, a tiny little triangle. That's where the elite hang out. They're living the high life, sipping champagne, and making decisions that affect the rest of us. Below them, a slightly bigger section. These are the people who help the elite stay in power, the politicians, the CEOs, the media moguls. They're doing pretty well for themselves too. And then comes the rest of us, the vast majority of people, the base of the pyramid. We're the ones working our butts off, struggling to pay the bills and getting squeezed more and more every day. And you know what? The elite like it that way. They need us at the bottom of the pyramid to support their lavish lifestyles. They need us to keep working and consuming and generating wealth for them. They tell us it's always been this way, that it's just the natural order of things. But you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. This pyramid, this system, it's not a law of nature, it's a human invention. And just like we created it, we can change it, we can flip the pyramid, we can create a world where power is shared more equitably, where everyone has a chance to thrive. But to do that, we need to understand how the current system works. We need to see the pyramid for what it is, a rigged game designed to keep us divided and powerless. Now, before we go flipping any pyramids, let's talk strategy. First up, peaceful protest. Look, the elite don't listen to us when we're quiet. They don't care about our problems. They don't even see us down here at the bottom of the pyramid. But when we come together, when we raise our voices as one, they have no choice but to listen. Peaceful protest is about making ourselves seen and heard. It's about showing them that we are united, that we are powerful, and that we demand change. Think about it. The civil rights movement, the suffragettes, the fight for LGBTQ+ rights. These movements all made progress because people took to the streets. They marched, they rallied, they made their voices heard. And you know what? It worked. Now I know what you're thinking. Protests are messy, they're inconvenient. And you know what? You're right. But freedom is messy. Justice is inconvenient, and sometimes we have to be a little uncomfortable to achieve something great. But here's the thing about peaceful protest. It's not just about making noise, it's about sending a message. It's about showing the world that we are not afraid, that we will not be silenced, that we will not back down until justice is served. So the next time you see a protest happening, don't just scroll past it, don't just complain about the traffic, join in. Raise your voice, make a difference, because our silence only benefits the elite. Our voices, united, have the power to shake the foundations of their pyramid. Section 5, building bridges. Community is our strength. All right, so we've marched, we've rallied, we've made the elite slightly uncomfortable. Good start. But real change, that takes more than just a few protests. It takes building something lasting. It takes building community. Let's see, the elite, they want us isolated. They want us glued to our screens, consuming their garbage and ignoring our neighbors. Why? Because community is dangerous to them. Community is where we realize our shared struggles. It's where we find strength in numbers. So how do we build community? It starts small. Talk to your neighbors. Get involved in local organizations. Support local businesses. Volunteer your time to a cause you care about. These small acts of connection might seem insignificant, but they're the building blocks of something much bigger. Because when we come together, when we support each other, we become something more than just individuals. We become a community, and communities are much harder to control, much harder to divide. Think about it, when times get tough, who do you turn to? Your family, your friends, your neighbors, the people you trust, the people who have your back. That's community, and that's what the elite are so afraid of, because they know that a strong community can stand up to their power. A strong community can demand better. A strong community can create real lasting change. So let's get to work building those communities. Let's show the elite what happens when we come together, not out of fear or division, but out of love, solidarity, and a shared desire for a better world. Section 6, a helping hand, supporting each other's fight. Okay, so we're building communities, we're connecting with each other, great. But here's the thing, we also need to be there for each other in tangible ways. We need to offer a helping hand when times get tough. Because real unity, it's not just about warm, fuzzy feelings, it's about action. It's about showing up for each other when it matters most. Think about it, what happens when someone loses their job, or gets sick, or faces discrimination? Who's there to help? In a perfect world, we'd all have a safety net to catch us when we fall. But let's be real. That's not the world we live in, so it's up to us to create that safety net for each other. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as offering to babysit for a single parent who's working 2 jobs, or donating to a food bank, or speaking out against injustice when we see it. Every little bit helps, because here's the thing about helping each other. It's not just about charity, it's about solidarity. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together. That an injury to one is an injury to all. When we support each other, when we lift each other up, we become stronger as a collective. We become more resilient. We become a force to be reckoned with, and that's what scares the elite more than anything. Because they know that a united front, a community that takes care of its own, is much harder to control, much harder to exploit. So let's make it a priority to support each other, to offer a helping hand whenever and wherever we can. Because real unity is about action, not just words. Section 7, love conquers all, choosing unity over division. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, this all sounds very nice, but the world is a cynical place. People are selfish. Is love really enough to change things? And you know what? I get it. Cynicism is easy. Hate is easy. Division is easy. Because it doesn't require us to do anything. It doesn't require us to challenge the status quo. Love, on the other hand, love is hard work. It requires empathy, compassion, and a willingness to see the humanity in everyone, even those who are different from us. But here's the thing about love. It's also incredibly powerful. It's the force that breaks down walls. It's the bridge that connects us across divides. And it's the only way we're ever going to create a better world. Think about it. Every major social justice movement in history has been fueled by love. Love for our fellow human beings. Love for justice. Love for a better future. Love is not weak or naive, it's the most powerful force in the universe. It's what drives us to fight for what's right, even when it's hard. It's what inspires us to stand up for the marginalized, the oppressed, the forgotten. And it's what will ultimately lead us to a more just and equitable world. So yeah, I believe love is enough to change things because it's the only thing that ever has. It's time to choose love over hate. It's time to choose unity over division. It's time to choose hope over fear. Because love, my friends, is the only way forward. Section 8, united, we stand, divided, we fall, a timeless truth. Now, I know what you're thinking, John. You're starting to sound like a Hallmark card. And you know what? Maybe I am, but sometimes the simplest truths are the most profound. United, we stand, divided, we fall. We've all heard this saying a million times. It's on cheesy motivational posters and bumper stickers. But you know what? It's a cliche for a reason, because it's true. When we're united, when we stand together, we are incredibly strong. We can achieve anything. But when we're divided, when we allow ourselves to be pitted against each other, we become weak. We become easy to control. We become pawns in the elite's game. Think about it. A bundle of sticks is strong. You can't break it. But one stick by itself, easy to snap in half. It's the same with us. When we're united, our collective strength is unbreakable. We can stand up to the elite. We can demand change. We can create a better world. But when we're divided, when we allow ourselves to be turned against each other, we become weak and vulnerable. We become easy targets for exploitation. So let's stop falling for the elite's tricks. Let's stop letting them divide us. Let's remember that we are stronger together than we are apart. Let's embrace our diversity, celebrate our differences, and find common ground in our shared humanity. Because united we stand, divided we fall. It's a simple truth, but it's a truth that could change the world, if we let it. Section 9, time to flip the pyramid, our collective power. All right, folks, let's cut to the chase. We've talked about the problems. We've talked about the solutions. Now it's time to talk about action. Remember that power pyramid? The one with the elite perched comfortably at the top while the rest of us struggle to hold it up? Yeah, it's time to flip that sucker. Now, I'm not talking about a violent revolution. Put down the pitchforks, people. We're not storming any castles today. No, flipping the pyramid is about shifting the balance of power. It's about taking back control from the elite and putting it back in the hands of the people. And how do we do that? By uniting, by organizing, by supporting each other. Remember those strategies we talked about? Peaceful protest, community building, mutual aid. Yeah, those aren't just feel-good ideas. They're concrete actions we can take to challenge the status quo. They're how we chip away at the foundation of the pyramid until it crumbles under its own weight. Because here's the thing, the elite don't want you to know. They need us. They need our labor. They need our consumption. They need our compliance. Without us, their entire system collapses. So what happens when we stop complying? What happens when we withdraw our consent to be governed by a system that doesn't serve us? What happens when we say enough is enough? We deserve better. That, my friends, is when the real change happens. That's when the pyramid starts to tremble. That's when the elite start to sweat, because they know that their power is an illusion maintained by our silence, our apathy, our division. But when we unite, when we find our collective voice, we become unstoppable. We become the change we've been waiting for. Section 10, join the movement. Together we can create a better world. So what are you waiting for? The world isn't going to change itself. It's up to us, it's up to you. Join a movement, start a conversation, educate yourself, support your community, show up for your neighbors, choose love over hate, choose unity over division. These aren't just empty slogans, they're calls to action. They're the building blocks of a better world, a world where everyone has a chance to thrive, a world where power is shared equitably, a world where we prioritize people over profits. It won't be easy. There will be setbacks, there will be challenges. The elite won't give up their power willingly, but I truly believe that together we can create the world we want to live in. A world where everyone has a voice, a world where everyone has a seat at the table, a world where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. So let's do this. Let's flip the pyramid. Let's build a better future together, because the truth is we have more in common than we realize. We all want the same things: a roof over our heads, food on our tables, a safe and healthy environment for our children, and a chance to live a life of dignity and purpose. So let's stop fighting each other and start fighting for each other. Let's build bridges instead of walls. Let's choose love over hate. Let's create a world where everyone can thrive, because together we are unstoppable.